Public Works City
I
Manager?
mean, it's ongoing, right?
Right.
I mean, I think it's
I can't
pretty
think.
a tough priority right now as far as.
Well, I don't know how you all gonna know where the sidewalks are when there are no signs, street signs.
True. Well, let's focus on sidewalks for right now.
Right, but I don't know how you're gonna know which street there's sidewalk, and pretty much we don't have any street signs.
It goes back to, can't fix it if I don't know about it.
No, I've contacted you about it, contacted Larry about, street signs.
And street sign
We
doesn't
talked
mention.
about size of street signs, not having, making them kind of uniform. But we're talking about sidewalks, so let's talk about sidewalks.
All right, I'm just trying to figure out, is there a time frame to start working on these items?
So,
Do we have a
if I
particular?
remember correctly, the sidewalks that you brought to our attention was overgrowth. And wanting the sidewalks cut back so that people could walk down them. And I believe the following week, we had every bit of that done.
Yeah, you got that, you got that, we got a machine to do that with, but, grass growing between cracks, and everything else. But like I said, I thought we, in agreement with the previous council, that each district had money set aside for sidewalk.
For citywide, I don't think it's each district.
Mhm.
Jill and I will get to, we'll make this a lot higher on priority, okay, because it's obvious it is a problem.
Yeah, public safety is number one.
Yes.
Like I said, it's,
So, we will get with Shelby and, the next chance we get, I won't be there tomorrow morning or Thursday or Friday, but we will meet with Shelby and we'll start addressing all these issues. But if you see things, please give us a list. That's the easiest way for us to work.
shoot me an email.
Oh, one more thing. So you brought Shelby up. If you two guys are tremendously busy, would that be the responsibility of Mr. Shelby to streets and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
So he should be able to notice sidewalks and overgrowth.
He should be bringing it to our attention, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Good, boss. All right, we're going to move on from now on to item C. It says discussion concerning ordinance governing policies and procedures for usage fees and services for commercial dumpsters. Ms. Joanne, would you come up to the podium for me? I told you I'd probably call you again, so I'm calling. So this was something that got brought up to me by some business owners, and that for lack of a better term, it was complaints, but legitimate complaints. That was kind of multifaceted, so I just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed on what was brought to me. I spoke with Mr. Sessions about it, and I'm going to ask you a question about, did you speak with that individual, this?
The card that you sent me,
Mhm.
I didn't get a chance to get and talk to him. I tried calling, and I didn't get a hold of him.
So basically, we had a couple of our customers that are inside the city with businesses that were not happy with their trash service, the dumpsters being emptied, saying that they had paid, they had gone from paying twice a month, and they quit paying twice a month or twice a week dumping because it was only getting dumped once. And so they pay for the once a week dumping, and sometimes it would get done, sometimes it wouldn't. And I kind of, explained to them that, I hate to say it, but if we don't know about it, then we can't fix it. But they're letting us know now. But there was an individual, and I'm not gonna, I don't want to be sued or whatever the case is, but there's an individual going around and saying that they're working in concert with the city of Live Oak, saying that, hey, the city has asked us basically that we work side by side, and they recommended that if you're not happy and you're not getting the trash done, they can't keep up with the rate of trash that's being produced, so they recommend us, and that's what this individual is doing. So one business actually went with them, and now they're finding out that he's falling short on his promises, and they've asked this gentleman to come and get the dumpsters back. My question was, and Ms. Joanne explained it to me beautifully, was the problem that they had though was that once they quit using the city dumpsters. Like I guess we got a dumpster. They no longer had city garbage. They were still getting charged. I think it was $67.50.
It's the minimum.
The minimum.
They
And I was like, well, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't make sense. And then after Ms. Joanne explained to me, and I went to that gentleman, explained to him, and he's very much in agreement with the way it works, and is actually going to go back to using the city. But the reason I brought it up was because I wanted to make sure that it was known the issue, that this individual is going around saying that he basically, works in concert with the city, and explain on public record, I'm allowing Ms. Joanne to do it because she's more eloquent with it than I am, why we have those fees, whether you use the service or not.
So our fees are designed to charge different rates. If you want 6 pickups a week for whatever size dumpster you want, or if you want the 1 pickup a week. And businesses can also choose to use a can. And the minimum fee for all commercial accounts, which are open businesses, most of them have water and sewer too, but it can be, just a business with, they're open for business. The ordinance states that they have to use the city service, because otherwise how are you going to fund running that city service? It's a citywide service, so you need all of your residents and businesses to participate. Now, what's gone on through the years, different things like one business has a compact machine. Well, we can't pick up the compact machine, but when they built that business, their corporate office chose it. So they still have to pay the minimum fee, even though they have to have somebody else pick up that compact machine. Nothing saying they can't have a can and put some of it in that, because we pick that up. We provide the service if they want to use it. I had a large customer that had several dumpsters picked up a couple of times a week. It was a pretty good revenue amount. And they had sent a letter stating that they wanted to stop the service. And it was their corporate office that actually sent it. And I just reached out to the local and I said, hey, I understand that your corporate office signed a contract with a larger company. And so, you're thinking you have to go with them. I said, but I want you to be aware that I still have to charge you a minimum for the service, because that's what the ordinance says. And so they said, well, oh, we didn't know that, but that gives us the ability to stay local. Because I'm like, we'd like you to stay with us. We're local. And so they did. I mean, but it is a factor. The ordinances do require that they utilize the city services. And so that's kind of what he wanted to explain.
It's the same for residents, right? And then it's also the premise is basically like, even if, so like whenever there is sewage or sewer systems available and you don't qualify, or you don't quote unquote have to hook into them by law or whatever.
There's still a fee. That's a state statute.
And those are state statutes.
Yeah,
so,
that's a state statute.
And the ordinance
too.
kind of has been in place, and it's not unique to Live Oak. It's something that each municipality has. So, I mean, I didn't think it made sense, but after considering all the factors and those things, it does, to me now, make better sense, and I hope to that individual. I know the individual and individuals who were affected directly are good with it.
So that business had no grounds for what they were
Yeah,
telling him,
that's
that
the part that's
we don't know of any
And I
of
did
those
speak
grounds,
to the
but
attorney about
yeah.
it, and he said, well, they can go out and try to drum up business, but the fact that they were acting like they're doing it on our behalf because we were overwhelmed was lying.
It's distasteful if nothing else.
And we were going to give them the chance to communicate that with them on an informal basis, and if after that informal communication didn't work, then I would just simply do a cease and desist letter that says, not saying you did this, but if you are, please be advised, you're not working with the city. This is what we've heard. If you are doing it, please discontinue. So we're waiting on that sort of informal
No, and I feel like that's
contact. That's the best way.
I called them from the city office phone, so they probably saw it coming around and tried to engage.
And also too, I think we spoke to Ms. Joanne about, our responsibility too as a city is like, look, yes, there are instances where the individual maybe who does the nightly trash dumping is out on leave or for whatever reason, and some get missed, we're human, just like anything else, but we do have a responsibility to do as we're.
They usually go back out and catch them.
And
A lot of
that's
times,
exactly-
though, businesses park something or lock a gate.
Right.
And that is kind of, y'all have to get yourself together so we can do that service. But, yeah, jail deals with, all of those individually. But we did have somebody who normally does that route for the commercial accounts, and he had been out for surgery. And so the first week of rounds for the replacement person, they had to navigate some issues. But they went back out and got those, I think. I mean, I know they tried.
I think
Since we're speaking of garbage right now, the other day, Jill and I were riding, and we have a certain time in the morning your garbage should be out in the cans. And we were in one neighborhood, and after they had already come through and picked up the garbage, people were bringing the garbage out that slept late. And we get a lot of those calls that you missed my garbage today, when it wasn't out on time. Because when they come through in the mornings, at a certain time it's supposed to be there. So we do get a lot of those calls too, and I'm sure you hear some of those calls from your people. And sometimes we'll make another run down the street extra to try to help out, but there are rules and things we have to go by too, so that the routes are run efficiently. But garbage is a dirty business, every way you look at it.
It is, and maybe that explains the email that was sent to everyone by John, JL, about the garbage and about the number of calls and about me personally stating what had to be done. I couldn't address it because it came to everyone. It had to be in a public forum. So I don't know if it went to the attorney or not, but I started drafting a response back, but I chose not to. Maybe JL, where you were going to have all of the phone calls that was coming in regarding the garbage to be directed to us, that it was overwhelming for the staff. I didn't take that email because it addressed me directly out, it signaled me out. That was a decision that you made when you were going to start sending out. This council up here did not choose the rollout date. If you would have said January, February, that would have been fine with us. But the type of email that came out from you, I didn't know which way to take it as, just sit on it or whatever, but I didn't take too kindly to it. If there's the folks who sit there and answer the calls, that's their job. Saying that I'm going to direct all of those phone calls to the city, to the council, that's not our job. I mean, we'll talk to our constituents about it if they address that, but to deliberately say, we're going to just start, we're going to give them your phone numbers. Our phone numbers are public for them to reach us. But I think you could have, maybe it was just a heated moment that you decided to send that out. But I didn't take too kindly to being signaled out as I was the one who stated that this was being done. So
I have a question. You finish.
yeah.
Concerning trash. And George's might be for you as well. There's an apartment with many units within it. Are they due to get a trash can, city new trash cans? Or is that landlord responsible for commercial?
If it is a building that has multiple meters, then the people in the apartments have their own bill. And there are some of those. And if it is a building that the owner of the apartment building has chosen to ask for dumpsters, and they pay according to either what size dumpster they have, or they at least pay enough to cover the minimums of residential for the apartment numbers they have. You know, we do it many different ways, but we try to apply that in a fair manner. And businesses can also share a dumpster, but no business, like they can have whatever value of dumpsters that matches, like if 2 people share or 3 people share, whatever matches those 2 or 3 minimums. So everybody is paying by the ordinance and the rates, but they can modify how that's provided. Now, like in a street, a residential area, I think that there are no dumpsters anymore in a residential area, but like an apartment building, you know, that serves multiple units, they might. It just depends, and it's all coordinated through the public works director.
So now,
But it can be a little varied, you know.
now ordinance says that if it's not in a city designated trash can, it shall not be picked up. Am I correct?
Yes, for the residential or the commercial accounts that choose to not have a dumpster, which is a little more expensive, but just have the minimum rate, which is, you know, can be cans, and they don't have anybody to share a dumpster with. But yes, it is the can or the metal dumpster container.
So is that a relaxation to the rule at any
No,
time? Well,
it's
to follow the
applying
ordinance?
the different needs, you know, the best way you can, I think. I mean, it's not that ordinance says city container.
Mhm.
Okay, so the can is now a city container and a dumpster is now a city container.
Correct,
And they each have different rates.
right?
And, you know, obviously the residents have the cans, and predominantly commercial accounts have dumpsters. They won't put a dumpster in like a normal neighborhood. It's, you know,
Right.
where it's a development and they have a space that they built when they built the development. I think pretty much, am I accurate? So if you got particular questions, you give the particular addresses and, you know, we can look at what is occurring. But this is pretty much how it's always, you know, it's following pretty much what it's always
If
following.
you got a law, we follow the law, right?
Yes.
Okay, no exception. So now, how do we handle, the city manager and jail, how do you handle where it's not in a regular, not in a city designated can, but you got another can right beside it? Even look like one of ours. Do we find those people or do we keep passing them by? How do we handle that?
Chairman Lee, Public Works Director again. So everybody has the option to get multiple cans.
Correct.
If it is not a city can, it will not get dumped. Normally, the driver will let Shelby know, Shelby lets me know, and then we'll either go to the residents, me or Shelby, to notify the homeowner, say, hey, that's not a city can, we will not be picking up that garbage. And that's how we've been handling it as of today. If it continues, then I can get code enforcement involved because that's not obeying city ordinance.
Okay, so is there a fine to be attached? If that same can y'all keep passing by for a month or two, it's still there, full of trash, when do you go to find that resident or that?
That would be a code enforcement issue after that, and that would be up to them. I don't know when you could start assessing those type of fees.
Well,
'Cause they would have to be notified first by,
and the one thing, the initial rollout is taking quite a while. So you have some people right off the bat who are doing a great job. You had some people that didn't want them, even though they're paying for them. And I think we're pretty close to everybody having them now. So it's been an ongoing process over a few months. And so we're still running into some of these problems where the newer person getting the can has also got something else that we're bypassing. I think some of the older ones that have been a problem in the past that they've discussed with them has fixed their problems, but there's still later people getting the cans is still being some of those problems. I think it's going to dry up eventually, but if it's not, JL and Shelby know who the problem people are, and then we'll put Jamie on them to start start a process.
Start a code case.
I have a question. She just said, Joanne just said that they would not put a dumpster in a community like, with houses and stuff there. What about Live Oak Pines? They have a dumpster there and they don't have individual cans. They are throwing all their stuff in the dumpster.
Right, that's set up similar to like apartments. The commercial account, they only have 1 meter.
Just know, JL, I have seen a big improvement in people adhering to the policy, to the ordinance of the cans.
Right, we still get calls every day, and we take them case by case.
But I've seen a big improvement. It just takes time.
Hard to fold up a 53-inch TV box, put in that box, so
Yeah.
we still work with these folks too.
Yeah, somebody called me. So now, we do have those who are disabled. They can get their service, curb service, done. They come up here and show their,
Fill out application. We have an application for that. They come up, bring up their disability and fill out the application. We'll work with them on that.
okay. As I had to explain several times on that, and you got me out a whole lot on that. Appreciate you.
All right, ready to move on? All right, Mr. Ann, we'll call you back up. All right, item D, discussion concerning city fire department commercial assessment study, ISO ratings, and other pertinent information. Can you tell us when the last time the commercial assessment study was conducted, please, Mayor?